So I won the roll for choosing table sides, which meant I had to deploy my entire army first. And the catch was you didn't know where your units were going to go. My left flank ended up housing my bunker of biggins and my unit of shortbow night goblins. I'll also note here my shaman rolled for his Guzzla's battle brew and rolled a 2. So two games in a row I am stupid, which is terrible. But I actually left him with the unit this time because I thought the immune to psychology might help me. And actually,
I don't think you ever failed the stupid test all game, right?
Yeah, it's pretty hard to fail. You haven't, I believe it's 87% success rate with a rerollable 8.
So, on average, you should fail about 1 a game.
My right flank was extremely weak and had my 2 fanatics and my group of spearmen.
The 2 fanatics are the important part.
Yeah,
nobody cares about the
2
spearmen.
fanatics. The spearmen don't do a whole lot other than that, as we all know. And in my center, I had all the things that I usually want on my flanks. I had my big unit of Savage Boar Boys, my Giant, and my Spider Riders. And luckily, I was able to get a center deployment on my Rock Lava. So he had a nice line of sight of the battlefield.
For me, my right flank contained Scarlock's Archers and the unit of 8 Dryads, which contained my Branch Wraith. This was a little bit inconvenient. Matt talked about this, I think, a little bit in last episode, how it's annoying that rivers prevent anybody from marching. Doesn't matter if you're a skirmisher, doesn't even matter if you have a water strider. You don't march. 18 inches was about as much as this river encompassed to the right flank, so there was no way of getting around it. So I just deployed my Dryads as far into it as I could, and so they could move out as fast as they could, and kept the Archers behind it. Pretty safe for the game. Let's see, the left flank was a unit of 10 Dryads and my Altar Noble. You can see him kind of lurking behind there. Unable to join a unit. The downside of being an altar, especially in the world of stone throwers.
Yeah.
The center was heavily weighted. I rolled 2 or 3 6s, I think, for choice, and and 2/3 of your choices go in the center anyway in this mission. So most of my stuff went down in the middle. So you've got a couple of units of archers relatively forward, with intermingled with skirmishers, a couple of hitters there, the Treekin and the Wild Riders over to the left, my left, and then some War Dancers bodyguarding characters.
At the end of deployment, I felt really bad because it looked to me like Ragnar, if he wanted to, could have his entire force kind of move to his left side and isolate just a few points of mine, and then basically retreat for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'll give it away now. It's not how it played out. Luckily, we were able to make a winning sporting game of it. But with Wood Elves, I think you still can do the hit, grab points, and run away tactic that you could do in 7th.
I think so. Yeah, it's something I kind of thought about a little bit, but it's just not usually my play style. I used to do it more. And I wound up taking some hits on Sportsmanship occasionally, because people just didn't like playing Wood Elves when all you would do is fade. It got to be the point where at tournaments, when I was playing against strangers, I'd make a promise: I will charge you on turn 2. Somewhere, at least one place. Last night, actually, I was playing as demons, and I wound up charging them 4 places on turn 1 because he moved up in my face, and it was 18 inches away. But yeah, it's I like to mix it up. I probably could have retreated more, but I like playing some offense.
Something of note that we both forgot, neither one of us moved our Vanguard movements for our fast cavalry. He could have moved his Wild Riders, and I could have moved my Spider Riders. It ended up not having a huge impact on the game, but
totally blanked on it.
Just something we forgot. And at the end, I thought about it, and I was like, well, I'm actually glad I didn't move my Spider Riders, so we didn't back up the game at all. We noticed right as first turn was starting. And we rolled Ragnar rolled to seize the initiative and got it off.
Well, that's what comes with being a 40k player. I get practice rolling that 6.
Yeah. So here's your turn 1.
All right. So I largely moved up a bit. Dryads and Wild Riders and Altar moved to left, so to kind of encapsulate kind of encircle and envelop the Boyz and their flanking elements of the Night Gods with spears. Dryads moved up front, kind of expendable. Treekin behind was kind of a second wave. Archers moved forward to start getting some mid-short range shots, make sure everybody's in range. Dryads moved out of the river, lost one from the dangerous terrain. It turned out to be a raging river, which is dangerous, and if you start your turn in it, you get +3 initiative because of the invigorating torrents or something crazy like that. So I also moved up the eagle to ready for, if he lived, a charge on the stone thrower, which would have been really nice. And let's see, also to potentially draw out fanatics, because he's one of the more expendable things in my army in cost-wise in terms of getting out those fanatics.
Shooting didn't really do anything. It put 1 wound on the giant.
Killed a big one.
Yeah, killed a big one, so that's nothing.
I tried magic phase, we each had a total of 9 dice, and I got nothing, basically. I tried cursing the boars to make them take dangerous on a 1 or a 2 going through the woods, and he dispelled it.
Yeah, I really had him outgunned as far as the magic phase goes because I had +3 dispel dice everywhere I went because of more spirit totem.
I just had a +1 for the cluster, and I got no way to get plus power dice other than channeling on my 1 wizard. So really, he had a stronger magic phase all the way around.
Yeah, every phase I had at least the same amount of dispel dice as you, I think. Other than maybe 1 phase, I had 1 left dispel dice than you. So then turn get passed over to me. I rolled my animosities up, and
Night Goblins came forward.
Yeah, Night Goblins came forward, which was awesome because it was going to make it easy for me to push them into the eagle. And I did that. I moved up a little bit and threw the fanatic out and was able to put 2 wounds on the eagle, which not quite enough to kill it, but I knew then that I'd be able to, use my shooting or my magic to finish him off. So I wasn't too worried. Beforehand, I was very worried that he was going to go and kill my stone thrower, or at least tie it up for a turn, which is just as bad. Everything else just basically moved forward. My savage Boyz I was very cautious with and just moved to the edge of the forest that was in front of them because I felt like if I moved too far, I was going to cop a charge from those dryads. But just at the edge of the forest, I was safe. He would have to advance because he didn't have any ranged units on that side of the board, and with my Wah banner, I'd be able to get the charge off and get my +2 strength to the boars and my +1 strength to the boys, and I feel like there's nothing in his army that could stand up to that unit taking a charge.
Plus not stopping in the woods itself. You'd only have to roll them once if there was something funky with that terrain because it was a mysterious forest.
Yeah, and it's dangerous terrain for me, so I usually want to stay a little bit clear of it, at least give it a wide berth. I moved my other Night Goblin unit up about 6 or 7 inches. During the magic phase, I rolled up Gaze of Mork and was able to kill the giant eagle.
Yeah, we had 6 dice each. That was pretty much all that really mattered in that one.
Yeah,
whacked him, got the 1 when he needed.
So my stone thrower didn't really do anything this turn. I think I knocked off 1 archer, or did I completely...
Killed actually one of the war dancers. It tried to get one of the units of archers in 2 ranks, which would have been able to hit all 10 if it had hit, but it scattered off 10 inches, nailed the war dancer in one of the bodyguard units.
Okay, so I passed the turn. Nothing really happened this turn.
Okay, so turn 2, I declared 1 charge. I had kind of an extreme range. I would have needed like a 9... maybe a 10 on the Spider Riders to get him with the Dryads and Branch Wraith. But honestly, it wasn't a big deal if I failed it position-wise. I felt pretty comfortable where they were, so why not gamble? I blew the charge, unfortunately, but not a big deal. On the left flank, I moved to Envelop and had my larger unit of Dryads, the 10 there, trigger the Fanatics. The Fanatics rolled like a 4 and a 5, so came up short. Alter again moved up behind them in covered. Let's see. Otherwise, kind of positioned. I couldn't do much with the eagle because he was dead. I moved up the archers to get some more shots, and started moving my war dancers generally leftwise to again continue kind of the circle. trying to set up a bit of a trap with the Wild Riders and the Treekin ready to charge the Boyz if and when they slaughtered my unit of 8 Dryads that I pushed right up into the wood, right in their faces. Magic-wise, I went up with 7 dice to his 9. I tried casting Curse again on the same unit and Wissen's Wild Form to get plus 1 strength toughness for my Dryads there that were about to eat the Boyz charge. He dispelled them both. Let's see. In shooting, my middle archers killed 3 spiders, managed to panic them, which was pretty cool. And I think 1 or 2 more of them died because they were clipped the building there. So they wound up just beyond the building, kind of right next to it. I managed to do 3 wounds to the giant with my archers on the left, which was some hot rolling, especially at long range. The Hail of Doom was the other big thing. I had separated off my BSB, put him up in the hill, as you can see there. He got only 7 shots, but managed to hit and wound with 2, which was just enough to finish off Ferguson.
Yeah, that was bad news. I didn't really get to do anything within this game, but against Wood Elves, really, what can you expect? It's not as bad as it used to be with the +1 to hit gone, but still, he shouldn't stand up to 30 bow shots a turn.
No, not generally. And when you pour the Hail of Doom in there with the strength 4, it's like, it's like shooting crossbows at him, only on ballistic skill 6.
Yeah, hitting on 3s even at long range with moving. So Ragnar passed the turn, and I decided it's time to call a wah. I'm not positive why I blew it so early, but I thought if I called a wah and got enough forward, I could then cast the spell wah and really seal the deal early in the game. As it went, I was able to get my Night Goblins and my Biggins forward
6 inches.
6 inches and
4 inches for the other Night Goblins.
Yeah, that was really nice because it put me in range to at least declare some charges. My Boyz declared a charge against the Dryads, which I knew they'd automatically get in, and I declared a charge with my Arrow Night Goblins at the Dryads. I had to move into the marsh, though, which is kind of a bummer. I lost 5 guys to the dangerous terrain test. And then when I failed my charge, I lost another 5 guys, I believe. So I'm down to 20 Night Goblins, and all I've done is move forward a little bit. So
they're all drowning in the shallows.
Yeah, I considered at the beginning of the game just avoiding the marsh altogether, but I really needed to kill that eagle, and the Fanatic was the best way to do that. And basically, I traded points to keep my Stone Thrower in the game because I felt like the Stone Thrower was pretty vital to my strategy because I needed something to respond to your little tiny units and your characters.
And respond it did, though we'll get to that.
My Boyz obviously made it in, and I moved my Biggins up to set up what I thought was going to be a big turn magic phase, casting the wah. And I moved my Spear Night Goblins onto the flank of the Dryads, also, again, because of the spell, the wah, that I thought I was going to have. His BSB had moved out to use his Hail of Doom arrow, so I threw my Stone Thrower at it and destroyed him. I guess I skipped over my magic phase, mostly because I didn't get anything off.
Yep. He threw both the Warpath and then he power scrolled the Wog, but he didn't have that many dice left for it because it was 7 total. So he was only throwing like 4 dice at the Wog, so he didn't get the doubles, and I managed to dispel it and get rid of it. So I stopped both of them, which was big for me. A joy that was short-lived with the death of my BSB to a Stone Thrower right in the head.
Yeah, strength 9, d6 wounds. That'll do in a Wood Elf pretty quick.